So this is part two to how I got fired at Walmart and why. So basically, after getting unemployment for an entire year, when they said they would get back to me and they didn't get back to me, it took them a whole year to reach out to me. But for that whole year, I was collecting unemployment off their butt, baby. You better believe it. So once I got in contact with HR and had a conversation with them, I basically explained to them step by step what was going on and what happened. And I was confused because one of the grounds as to why they say I got fired is because they said I cussed the store manager out. When in fact I did, but I cussed him out after I was told I was fired. So I basically told her, how could I be fired just because I told somebody I was on my break, not going to my break, on my break already at the time that they told me to do something. And on top of that, I was not even aware that that person was even promoted to a management position. Last time I checked, she was an associate just like me. So I basically went over the Walmart policy with her and had to remind her that once we are on our breaks, we cannot be disturbed on our break. Of course, she couldn't deny it, and she agreed with me that what I was stating was facts. And she also basically acknowledged me taking orders from somebody that I was not aware that was a manager was pretty much not my fault. However, she keep bringing up the fact and making up excuses as to why I got fired, saying that I cussed the store manager out. So I basically had to tell her, I said, once somebody tells you that you are fired, you no longer work for the company, correct? She says, yeah, once you're fired, you no longer work for the company. So I said, okay, once I was fired, I no longer work for Walmart. So that's grounds for me to say whatever I wanted to say, correct? Not to mention, the store manager was very disrespectful to me first by telling me to get the fuck back in the office. So I responded the way that I would respond any other time if you disrespect me. So basically, she saw that I was not at fault with nothing that occurred, and she proceeded to give me a ultimatum to come back to work. This situation happened in 2010. So at that time, it was not easy to just find a job. For the whole year that I was unemployed, I could not find nothing. And I almost was close to working at Home Depot overnight. But then, of course, I got my offer back to work at Walmart. So she basically offered me my job back, but under certain conditions. So when I was first hired at the company, I was hired full time. We got $1 an hour to work on Sundays. I had all my benefits, everything. And I had to start over again. But this time around, once I got rehired, I lost my full time. I was dropped down to part time. And then I was working overnight. Child, I was a whole pharmacy tech and a pharmacy sales associate. Going from that to working as an overnight sales associate, and I've never worked overnight before, was crazy. But I had to accept anything because at that time, it was hard to find jobs. And sis, when I tell you that the drama continues after I started back working, y'all gotta tune in for part 3 as to what happened after that situation with my family.